my name is Richard Unger. I am a computer programmer for the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, and we're located over in near South Park, and I'm here to talk about computer science to these guys. So it's kind of common. A lot of engineers go into computer science, go into programming because they like the math. Not that programming requires a lot of math. And they like to build things. So I went into engineering because I like to build stuff. I like to make things. I consider making a program a thing. It's software. I built something. So that kind of fulfilled my need to make things. When I was a kid, I made things all the time. I made tree houses, I made forts, I made models, I was always making stuff. So this helps me in that way. So if you have that kind of aptitude, you like to make things, it's a good field to go in. My responsibilities, it's kind of a weird question, depends on who you are, what you do. In my case, I'm responsible for making sure the software gets done, gets built.
You guys do not have to leave. If you have lunch, you need to go back down the corridor past to be able to do that. Get the information.
Do I travel? When necessary. It's kind of neat travel. I get to go to conferences on computer fields. I'm going to one in March in Las Vegas. That's going to be cool. You know, I went to one in Orlando last year for a computer conference to learn. You know, you don't go to watch, you go to learn. My hours, I work 40-hour week. Officially, I love what I do. I might work 50, 60, depends on what I'm working on, but it's not required. Where I work a flexible schedule. I show up for work between 6:30 and 9, put in my 8 hours and go home. So if I show up at 6:30, I leave at 3. If I show up at 9, I leave at 5:30. If I work 10 hours, I can take 2 hours off the next day if I want. Okay. But most professionals in my field, they just work to get the job done because they like what they're doing. But it's a very flexible schedule generally for programmers. What do you need to be successful? You have to be curious. Like I kind of implied, you have to build things. You don't have to be a math whiz. You do not have to be a math whiz. Okay, everybody thinks it's all math. It's not. The computer does the math. That's why we have them. What it requires is logical thinking, being able to put A before B, and B before C, that kind of a thing. You have to be willing, in some companies, to work a little extra when you start out to get ahead, but you're rewarded well for that. Because as I say down below, you usually start at 40,000, and you can go over 100,000. I know some who make over $150,000 a year programming. I know people without a college degree starting at 40. In the last 2 years, I do a lot of interns where I work, students. The last 2 interns I had, before they were in college and they worked with me part-time while they were going to Pitt. Okay. Before they even graduated from Pitt, they got jobs and were making $50,000 a year while they were still getting their degree. That's how the demand is. So you make good money. Is there room for advancement? Oh, of course, no question. There's all kinds of advancement opportunities. Senior programmers generally go into controlling whole projects and that type of stuff. No. So what's the atmosphere? This is the neat thing. I mean, where I work is very relaxed. Most programming atmospheres are very relaxed. You may have heard how it is at work at Google. They have free food there all day. They have gyms. They have ping pong tables. That's not uncommon. Down at Branding Brand, down in the South Side, that company, they serve refreshments all day. People have their dogs and cats in the office with them. They try to make it a comfortable, home-like atmosphere. So I went down and visited not too long ago, and I'm walking around, dogs and cats. They have a cafeteria that's free. Company provides it. Generally, it's nice working atmospheres because programmers are so valuable. They have to make them happy because you can just go somewhere else whenever you want. So the employers, in most cases, will do things to keep people there, flexible hours, perks like free food, things like that, parties, that kind of stuff. Not that I'm saying you still have to work hard, but they want to keep you there. But the atmosphere also in jobs like, what do you do? Like, So this is an IDE. This is Visual Studio. This is the one I have to use. There's others, but this is what I do all day. I work in here. Okay, create code. You know, in the program, this program like has to be Visual Basic, believe it or not, and then develop that code, compile it, test it. You know, different type of code for a web page. Okay. What you do is you learn several languages generally. Java being a big one. C# is a real popular one. Do they teach these things here? They teach Java, yeah. Yeah, they use Java. I don't know why. Because if I was teaching here, I would be teaching a C# or Python or something like that people are using a little more. Java's good. You'll learn all the fundamentals, but C# is what everyone's moving towards. They used to teach something called, so old I forget it, Fortran. That's what I learned originally. It's still there, but it's a dead language now. But most programmers learn about 5 or 6 languages. But once you've learned one, the rest are relatively easy. They all have similar syntax. They look the same. They just have little tweaks. So it's not like learning Russian and Spanish. It's like learning English here and English in Great Britain, that type of a thing. So it's not hard. But this is just this is the tool you would use to develop your software, and these are very sophisticated tools. They're actually, you can get them for free on Microsoft's website. Like I said, you don't have to go to college to be a programmer. You can download all the tools. You could write something really good. You could sell it to somebody, make money, or you could show some company that I have skills. Try me out. But that's kind of what I sit at the computer all day. You know, actually that's not true because I have other responsibilities like programming. But I sit and work in this environment. I have 4 monitors set up because, you know, you write here, test here, do this there. Dress and appearance, and I'm actually dressed up today. It's casual almost everywhere. There's a few times, I'll put a suit on when I go out. Like if I'm going to go give a paper or something, I put a suit on, of course. If I'm going to go see the big boss, I'll dress up. But generally it's casual dress. What you wear here at school would be appropriate. Responsibility and authority, that's kind of a weird one to try to deal with, but depends on what your position is. If you're the entry-level programmer, you're just told what to do, create it. If you're at a higher level, you'll be in charge of a whole project. You might have a team of 5 or 6 programmers under you, and you're coordinating their efforts. If you're really high up, you'll have a team, like they say you work for Microsoft. You might have 100 programmers working on a project. I think Microsoft Excel, when they built that program, they had 30 programmers working on it simultaneously, all working together to create one application. And the senior guys, the guys who make $100,000, would be in charge of all of them. Yeah, you have to be able to work with others. The cliche about programmers is they sit in a room, huddled over their computer, and you slide pizza under the door to them because they don't come out. That's not true. The good programmers talk to people, they communicate, they're social, they exchange ideas, they learn new stuff. So attitude has to be that you want to learn from your coworkers, you want to learn from your superiors, you want to go out and learn new things. Attendance, that's weird. I don't know what that means either. However, where I work, we telework a lot. And that's becoming very common, and programmers do it more than most fields. I can stay home and work. I mean, I have a computer at home. Why would I have to drive all the way to the office and burn electricity at the office? I do it at home. So teleworking is very common in the programming field. People stay home. Where I go, I choose to work at home no more than 4 days a month, I'm sorry. That's my choice. We have some people in my organization who work at home every day. And they come in every 2 weeks just to make sure we check to see if they're really still here and alive and everything. But there's no reason anymore to come into the office for these things, so you might work at home. Rewards and stresses. What do I find most rewarding? Well, because of my particular job, we help people. I find that rewarding. When I started working there, the number of miners that died every year in the U.S. was in the hundreds, and we're down to less than 20 now. It's not because of me, but it's because of the efforts of a bunch of people. So I find that very rewarding. I'm helping people. I look at that as every death we prevented every year as a family that didn't have to go through that horror. Okay, so that's my reward. Every reward's based on what you do. I mean, what you're working on. But I happen to work in that kind of an area. What's the challenge? The neat thing about programming, it's a challenge, but it's neat is it's ever changing. What I learned when I started is no longer valid. It's better. They didn't have virtual reality when I started. I've been trying to learn it. I mean, I'm an older guy and I'm trying to keep up. The mobile apps are going to be challenging for me to learn. I'll learn them, but to go from a PC, which is going to go away, to the tablets and writing all the code for that is a challenge, and I'm continually learning. I'm not going to school. I'm online, reading, learning new languages all the time. And that's the challenge of the job, but it's also fun. Personality traits? I don't know if anything's necessary. You have to talk. Our best programmer where I work, the genius, is a really nice guy. He's friendly, but he won't, like if you approach him, it's fine, but he's not outgoing. He won't come see you. So I think the personality traits that are best is being open and honest and talking to people and learning from others. Because no matter how you write your code, there's going to be someone who did a better job of it, and take advantage of that. Share your code. Do I recommend Shadow? No question. No question. In fact, I'll make that offer now. If anybody wants to come and spend a day where we work and see the facility and watch what I do, well, that'll be boring. You don't want to watch what I do, but I'll show you around and show you what everyone's working on, how they do their job. We'd be happy to do that if anybody has an interest in this field. I think over the years I've had like 20 different kids of various places, at various stages come through. All of them work now. And I'd say the last two got jobs before they got their degrees, which is kind of annoying in a way, because they left. I mean, I could make more. I had them doing projects, interesting projects, and they left because they could make more money. It was frustrating. Advice or suggestions for students pursuing this career? Don't stop learning. It's a fast-moving career. You don't learn it, and now I'm going to do this for 20 years. I've learned enough to get started, and I'll continue to learn as I go along. And one nice thing about the field, especially if you want to get into the gaming stuff, everybody helps each other. The gaming area is really cool, and I do a little bit of that. But everyone out there communicates and helps each other develop better games and do better things and stuff. So it's kind of a neat club, if you say. I mean, you've seen The Big Bang Theory, probably, the nerdy stuff. That's true. When you get a bunch of guys like me at a conference, it's nerdy, but they're good people and they're fun. They like to have fun, and they're smart. They're smart, and it's fun to be around them. And what they do is neat, whether it be doing games or developing medical software so they can do surgery with a robot, or controlling. I write stuff that controls experiments. It's neat stuff. And
with the gaming industry, is that a field that's pretty saturated right now, or are there a lot of opportunities?
There's opportunities in all programming. Yeah, I would say there's more for non-gaming. I mean, there's opportunities in gaming, but there's more opportunities if you're going to be the guy that maintains the software for a corporation. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a really good job, a good income. There's probably more opportunities there because everybody needs that. I mean, there's a whole crew of IT people keeping this school running, okay? You don't see them, but they're there.
Would you say there are certain colleges that are more in tune with the gaming industry versus the programming?
A lot of guys go to gaming don't go to college. They might go to a tech school to learn it. Some of the best gamers, though, they learned it at your age and went out and got a job. They didn't even go to school. The software is free to develop games. You can get Unity, the free version, download it, and you can develop a game. And it's based on your imagination and what you want to do. There's no restrictions. You can get the pro version. You pay $1,500 to get the pro version, and that lets you do things like port your game to a phone. Okay, or to a Mac. So if I write my game in Windows, if I can also have it run on a phone or run on a Mac computer, this kind of thing. So there's opportunities there. One of the things I like about this job, and this is something I can do on the side. This is the side work I do. You learn how to program. You might have a job with a corporation or something. You've got skills. You're in demand. And I do websites on the side, you know, mainly for fun. Like this is for the Diocese of Pittsburgh, so I don't charge for that. You know? But it's a neat hobby. My work is a hobby, you know, which is so cool. I mean, I go to work, I'm doing my hobby. So I develop things like this, and I got a dozen sites out there that, you know, run leagues or run this, a couple businesses, you know. So the skills you learn are transferable to other things. So I just want to show that it's not just all about work. I mean, most of the programmers I know, it's a hobby to them, it's fun, and they can't wait to go to work, and the day goes so fast, it's like you gotta go knock on the door, don't you think you should go home now? Oh, okay, because they're into it. It's fun work. So if there's any questions, look at 28. I was told I had 30 minutes, I got 2 minutes left, so I went over actually. So, but any questions at all? Is anybody interested in this field? Have they thought about it? Well, good. You'll do well. You'll make money, and you'll have fun.
You mentioned some research opportunities. If you do decide to go a bachelor's degree or even further, are there opportunities?
Yeah.
For,
Yeah, there's lots of people doing research in computer science, how to do artificial intelligence, how to make the computer smaller, how to make the software faster. That's going on all over the place. So you might, you know, if you get your bachelor's, you're not going to go into research. You have to go to master's or a doctorate. But what happens is most people, they get their bachelor's and then they get a job right away and they don't go back. You have to really want to be doing research, want to be doing that fundamental stuff to go that route, because that master's won't get you a lot more money than if you just got your bachelor's. And as I said, some of the highest paid programmers didn't even go to college. In a sense, in some ways, it's like a trade where you don't go to college. You have to learn a skill, but you can teach yourself this skill. And the tools you need to learn it, you have available to you. Like if you want to be a welder, well, you need a welder to practice on, right? Yeah, they're expensive. If you want to be a programmer, you need tools to practice with. They're free. They're on the internet. You can download them and learn how to do it. But if anybody has an interest in doing some shadowing, or just, I guess, contact you,
yeah,
and we'll just set up a day. You come out. I'll show you around. You can see what we do. You know, and if you go to school, let's say you go local to Pitt, for instance, we hire summer students, and we pay them well, and they come in and they program. You know, I have tasks for them, and they do real programming. That one thing I showed you, the one on the top left, that's a Windows program, a graphics program. If anybody's ever used something like AutoCAD or something like that, that's the same thing that AutoCAD's written in. The code we use here, we could write AutoCAD. We could write 3D Studio Max. Student did that. Did that version of it. I did the first version, but the student did that over a couple of summers. Every summer he'd work with us. He was going to Pitt to get his degree. His last year, some company saw what he was doing with us and says, "We'll hire you now." He didn't have his degree yet. And he was sad because he left, you know, because I wanted to hire him. But so we teach a lot when we get a student.
Is Pitt a big school that you see students coming from?
Pitt's good. To be honest, I went to Pitt because we didn't have any money, and I commuted.
Okay.
You know, and that's why this kid was there too. He couldn't afford to go away somewhere. It's fine. No, it's a good department. CMU, of course, is great if you can afford it, or if you're so smart they let you come for free. You know, but CMU's good. There's a lot of good ones. I
Would
can't.
you recommend-
The only one I would not recommend, University of Phoenix. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. It's a joke. Okay? Sorry, it is. It's a joke.
No, that's good. You showed information. Good baby to hear.
Yeah. Well, I had someone do it, only because someone said, "We will hire you if you have a degree." And he said, even if it's University of Phoenix, because he was already working, he said, we don't care, you have to have a degree, it's a rule. So he went to University of Phoenix online training, and he said it was like, I didn't have to do anything, I got a degree. You know, it was like nothing. But I know someone else who did that, and when I asked them to do something, they couldn't do anything. They're gone. Okay, so don't fall for that. All right, go to a real college, accredited school if you want to do that.
And do you think that the computer science route versus computer programming is a major? There's a lot of different majors.
Yeah. Actually, Pitt has something called information technology, which it encompasses computer science, but it does other things too. Personally, I like that better. I think that's a better approach because you learn a little more about more things. You can go straight computer science and there's a little more math in it and things like that. But I like a well-rounded programmer who knows more than just writing code. User interface design is a big thing. Where to put the buttons, where to put the controls, those types. What colors to use are an issue. Some people are 20% of the men are colorblind. So if you use colors that indicate something, you can't do that because they can't see it. So there's a lot to think about.